Welcome to A Mess in the Kitchen, the podcast all about demystifying home cooking. I'm Molly Mogren-Cat, a food and travel writer who loves to cook but is only so-so at it. My co-host, Dusty Kugler, is a former food stylist, caterer, and food fanatic that always makes cooking look effortless and somehow manages to clean up after herself in the process. We talk recipes, cooking tips and techniques, our favorite kitchen gear, mishaps, and successes. We believe eating good food at home doesn't have to be so complicated, and if you screw up, who cares? That's why God invented frozen pizza. Here's the show. Hey, it's Molly Mogren-Cat, and I'm here with my friend and co-host, Dusty Kugler.
Hello.
You know what's really fun? That I got to see you twice in the last, 12 hours.
I know. You know what else is really fun? I did my best to not say one damn thing about this podcast.
I know.
Even when you walked in and the girl peeing. Which was the highlight of my evening.
Same, sort of. Yeah, Dusty and I went out we have the same hairdresser.
Stylist.
I was going to say hairdresser sounds old lady.
No.
Stylist. So we all went out for the most expensive Mexican food I've ever had in my entire life.
I know.
But yeah, we both, because we always have to pee all the time, I feel. So we were waiting for the bathroom, and I totally walked in on a lady.
Lady. She was like 22. That's not a lady.
Oh, I don't know. She had really great hair.
Did she?
I don't know. It's all I saw. I thought I looked in, and I was like, oh my God, it's Kim Kardashian peeing on a toilet. And then for some reason, we couldn't stop laughing.
Well, unless her butt was enormous, are you sure that she was remotely even looking like Kim Kardashian?
I don't know. She just looked like she had really pretty long black hair.
She never looked me in the face when she came out.
Well,
so
I wouldn't either. As soon as there were two bathrooms, and I ran into the other one as soon as somebody came out. I left Dusty.
Hi. She didn't look at me. Didn't matter.
Who cares?
Didn't matter.
Today we wanted to talk about our pantry basics, and the reason I think this is important, if you're wanting to get better at cooking at home, you got to make it easy to do. Because, I know you love to grocery shop.
My favorite thing ever.
See, mine too. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people like the instant cart or
Oh my God. Would you ever trust somebody to buy your bananas?
No.
Never.
That is the thing.
If there was one brown spot on it, I'd be pissed.
Right. I don't get how people... Well, I mean, part of it too is there's the trade-off of having it be easy and just delivered to your house. And if you hate grocery shopping, maybe you just don't care. But here's a good tip. Here's a great way to love grocery shopping is have 2 kids. First, that's all you got to do is have 2 kids, and then anything seems fun.
That's true. Without them at the store.
Yeah.
I know what you're getting at. Yeah. I know what you're getting at.
But one thing I think, if you want to make cooking at home easy, is to just have it be totally set up for you. So there's tons of possibilities already lurking there right in your pantry or cupboards or whatever. And then you just have staples that you can fall back on and that you know how to use. And you I find myself using the same stuff over and over and over again just to make cooking easy.
Yeah. Well, because you just never know, I'm going to be late, or the traffic sucked and I still have to make dinner because Arlene has to go to gymnastics and I got to figure it out, whatever it is.
Right.
Or my meeting ran late and my significant other is going to be here in 5 minutes and we got to figure something out. We can cook together, but I don't have time to go to the store or order anything.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so you just got to have stuff on hand.
You got to have stuff on hand. And a lot of the things on my list, because that was your assignment this week, to go through your pantry and come up with the crap you use over and over.
I clearly have way more crap than you because my list, I'm looking at your list, which is neat and tidy.
Well, if it makes you feel better, mine goes on to the next page.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm very organized in how I put it. It was dry stuff, sweet stuff, what I need every day, what I use all the time, what I can't live without.
What? How are those different categories?
So many things.
What I can't live without, what I need every day.
Yeah, I got a lot of it.
Well, why don't you just start with your super duper basics?
Okay, so as I said, my OCD probably kicked in a bit when I was doing this because this is the 3rd version of this because I didn't like the way it looked on the page the first time. So I was like, no, those don't go together. Yeah, bad.
That is hilarious.
It happens. So basic-y basics, no fridge? Are we just talking pantry, spice cupboard? Or are we talking like these are the things you need to have in your house?
I didn't go to fridge. I didn't do the fridge.
I kind of did fridge, but only because some people keep things in their pantry and some people keep things in their...
if it could go
like
either way. Butter. See, butter isn't on my list, but it is something I always have. So, yes.
Okay. So we might be on the same wavelength for this or not, but like spices, basics. You got to have red pepper flakes. You have to have kosher salt and pepper, right?
Yes.
Fresh ground pepper.
I'm all
Super
about
easy.
that. And wait, can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
Because while I was putting my list together, I was wanting to write about kosher salt. Now,
go into it.
Okay, because I was thinking, like, I feel like kosher salt's maybe a thing that, like, people maybe don't know about or don't know why they should use it. And honestly, I was like, I don't know why I should use it. That's just what they had in the kitchen when I was working at a catering kitchen. So I looked it up because I thought it would be interesting. So table salt has iodine in it.
Right.
There's a couple things that
I learned that in my home ec class.
Of course you did. You're Dr. Home Ec here.
That's right, Dr. Kugler.
The resident home ec teacher here.
Yep.
So, first of all, I don't think anyone thinks iodine tastes particularly good.
Well, I don't think you
really
would want it, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it does fit really nicely into a salt shaker. That is one good thing, I guess, about table salt. But it's because it's ground so finely, it makes things way too salty, and it just like the taste isn't as clean. So like a tablespoon of table salt is saltier than a tablespoon of kosher salt, which is like thicker, like bigger crystals. Yeah. So it kind of doesn't lay as nicely in the.
Think of the top of a salted dark chocolate caramel. Like what's on there? That's kosher salt dish.
Yeah, so it's just like bigger crystals. It's easier to work with. And one tip that I read about is that it doesn't really matter what brand of kosher salt you use, so long as you try to be consistent with your brand, because different brands have different size salt crystals. So like if you're always mixing up the brand, it'll make your food saltier, or you just like won't know how to trust, if you can trust it.
How many brands are there?
I don't know. There's like
I just have the blue box.
Yeah, I know. That's the Morton's one. That's the one I have too. But then there's some other one that's like a red box.
Not seen the red box. There is a long cylinder thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The white. It looks like it could be a grinder, but it's not.
Or like Parmesan cheese.
Yes, that's what it looks like. Exactly. Which is also in my pantry list.
Oh.
It's because of popcorn. Which is also like really high on my pantry list.
Well, now that we did a deep dive on salt.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did that, because that is something that people should know.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't even really know why I was supposed to use kosher salt. I just knew I was supposed to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And also, I should mention that I keep mine in a little, like, I used to keep it in like a little bowl by my stove. And I thought I was so smart for that. But then I realized that people just buy like salt cellars, up they're called. Like little things you can pinch some out of. And...
Like the little wooden thing that has a top that twists. Yeah. You can buy those anywhere.
You can.
Great gift.
It is a great gift. And also great gift, pepper grinder.
Yeah.
Because fresh ground pepper is the deal.
Well, and this probably will lead to another episode, which we can come back to. But Trader Joe's, hello, $1.19 for salt grinder, pepper grinder.
Yeah.
Well, each. That's it. Like, so easy and so good. I love the one that's the multiple, or like the mixed
peppercorns.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and because the little box of pepper you get blows. It's not good. It sucks.
No, that's what my dad puts all over his cottage cheese. Like, you can't even tell it's cottage cheese. I'm like, how are you eating that? But yeah, it makes you want to sneeze a lot.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's not good. Don't buy that.
No.
I mean, if you can buy that, but if you get a pepper grinder, it's going to make your food taste way better.
Yeah, and you don't always, when you go to a restaurant and they say, would you like fresh pepper on that? You don't have to. I know it's kind of intimidating, like,
it's totally,
I think I'm supposed to have this. Like, that completely changes the flavor. Like, you are supposed to taste your food before you salt or pepper it. And I don't think a lot of people, I didn't do that when I was younger. I didn't know that until I actually ate dinner with Andrew someplace, which is funny because I was like, 30 something?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just always salt my hard-boiled eggs. And I just always salt my hash browns. There's not a lot of things I put salt on. Watermelon, tomatoes, that kind of stuff.
Pause. Watermelon.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best. Wait. Yep. There we are again. Twyla and I are the same person.
Yeah.
You have to put salt on it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to make you.
No. It totally makes sense to me, but I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
Probably. I tend to go salty versus sweet, but I just feel like you get the sweetness so much more when you add the salt, and not like a ton of it.
No, just like
so good.
Just a couple, and not table salt.
No, it's my Southern roots, even though I'm not Southern, but my parents are.
Same. That's whatever. I mean, mine aren't. Mine are like, couldn't be more Northern.
That's true. But it's sort of like the peanuts in the Coke. I don't know. Maybe Twyla knows that too. I'm sure you don't. I just told the story the other day, which has nothing to do with the pantry. Sorry. But
it's okay.
If you have like a little bottle of Coke, it has to be a bottle too. It can't be a can and cannot be a plastic bottle. You have to think of like old gas station opening up that weird vending machine that's actually like metal, and they had the bottles. Then you buy the little mini package of like not roasted, not the dry roasted ones, salted peanuts, and then you pour it in there.
What?
I know. You'll have to do it before next time, or like one of these times.
Okay.
You won't even believe how amazingly salty and sweet it is, and so satisfying.
No,
it has to be regular Coke too. Can't be like a weird Pepsi RC business. It's got to be Coke because of the bubbles.
Yep.
And salted peanuts, so good.
Okay, I kind of get it, but I'll try it.
It's so good. Childhood memories. Anyway,
right.
back to the pantry.
It sounds like a really good like summer thing.
It
like
is
hot summer day.
It's probably where I went from the watermelon, because that's also like a summery thing. Okay. I'm sorry I went way off there.
It's good. No apologies. You just took two things off my list that I don't have to talk about anymore. And you said red pepper flakes.
Yeah. That's just because I love that on everything. But you got to like spicy. You do.
Well, the thing with red pepper flakes is it's like, unlike a hot sauce, it just kind of adds like a little zing to something instead of like a vinegar zing to something. Or, because I feel like hot sauce is, I don't know. There's a million different kinds. I don't know why there are a million different kinds. I kind of feel like
that's on my list.
Hot sauce. It is. No, it's fine. I mean, I have a hot sauce preference for sure,
same.
but red pepper flakes, it's sort of like salt, where it just kind of elevates your food just a little bit if you kind of like that. I put it on pizza or
same. I love pasta, and it's really good on roasted vegetables.
Yes,
it just kind of gives a little something.
Yep.
And my kids will eat it too. They're not like overly spicy, like they don't love it like I do, but they like the vegetables roasted with just a little something extra.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go? Or you want me to keep going?
You keep going.
Okay. So I did salt and pepper, seasoned salt. That also has to do with popcorn. I have this thing. I love popcorn more than anything, and nothing is better than our friend Kelly's popcorn, which is so much butter, also on my list. Popcorn, probably number 2 on my list. Seasoned salt and grated Parmesan cheese. So good. And you don't need dinner. You can just have that. It's so satisfying.
How are your hands? Totally filthy after eating it?
Yeah, you need multiple napkins. One of them has to be wet. It just makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the best. And seasoned salt is so strange, but I really like it. It's almost burnt. It? I don't know. It's probably full of chemicals, but I really like it on popcorn.
Do you do like a Lowry's?
Yeah, that's all I do.
Okay.
I've tried the off-brand. Doesn't work. Doesn't. I bought it at Target once because they didn't have Lowry's. Didn't like it. I don't know if you've figured that out, but I'm kind of particular.
Oh, yeah. No, I like a particular person. Like, that's good. I think it's good to have an opinion.
I have those.
I know. Well, I feel like I kind of grew up in a house where it was like, I just wanted to be, like, kind of blend in sometimes and not make a fuss about things. So it takes me a while sometimes to formulate an opinion. But when I do have one, it's very strong.
No, I think you're good at opinions.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Love fest. Okay, back to the list. So I'm still on spices, herbs, that kind of thing. Cayenne pepper.
See, that's not on my list, but
I would say I most likely put it in most soups for sure. And not a ton, so it changes flavor. It just really enhances it. I just feel like that red pepper versus black peppercorn just is a different flavor. So that cumin.
So like cumin's for sure on my list.
Lots of in everything.
I put it in everything too.
Yeah, it's a very distinct flavor too. I like it.
But it's like if you want to make Mexican food, If you don't use that's like the ingredient. That's the ingredient that makes it
Yeah, I like it.
Taste like how you want it to.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So I have a few other things that we can just talk about later because they're like blends, sort of like the seasoned salt, Cavender's, and I'll come back to it. It's a Greek thing.
Yeah. What about, is oregano on your list?
Oregano is on my list, but I only buy Mexican oregano. It just tastes so more, it's like floury almost, and I love the flavor. I make a chicken soup with it, and it's a really delish. I like it.
So oregano is one of those things, I feel like it's one of those spices that like works with Mexican. So it took me a long time to realize that oregano went with Mexican food because I always think of it going with like Italian food, but it is also something I put in like chili or fajitas or really any Mexican thing.
Yeah. Do you cook a lot of Mexican food at home?
Well, I have been because
it's easy.
It's super easy. Josh really likes it. Arlene, my 2-year-old, likes tortillas.
What's not to like?
I know. Only tortillas. So she's like, don't put anything in it.
No beans?
No, she just wants the tortilla.
Oh.
Sometimes I'll try to get her to eat like a taco or something.
Yeah.
But I would say enchiladas are a really common thing in our house right now because basically all you need is some sort of like meat, vegetable, Mexican-y thing. And then you put it in a tortilla and put cheese on it and some sauce and put it in the oven for like 20 minutes and boom.
Yeah.
It's like a fancy meal.
It's easy and it's good cold.
Oh, yeah.
I also am a fan of specific foods cold, not reheated.
That's true.
I'm
Me
weird
too.
about that. Okay, I'm sorry. Back to the task at hand. Cinnamon and nutmeg and ginger I feel like you have to have. I'm not a baker whatsoever, but I use those in other things too. Sometimes I do like a tiny bit of cinnamon and chili. I know that sounds weird, but if it's spicy, that's kind of like it's a good flavor. All right, I'm kind of out of the, I put dry basil on there, but I think it's just because sometimes if I'm cooking like Italian, which I love to do, I love to make bolognese and I love to make meatballs and things like that, then I use it. I'm not sure it's a staple.
It's not a staple for me, for sure. I always will prefer a fresh basil over a dried one, and like that's not something I'm just gonna keep on hand because it doesn't last that long. So if I want to use it for something specific, I'm just gonna buy it.
I know, and you sort of have to cook for like if you're buying basil at the store. If you grow it, it's great. Obviously, we can't do that year round here. Well, you could. You could do it in your house. I'm not that ambitious.
I've tried. It doesn't work for me.
Oh, really? In like a window, you mean? I guess maybe you're not facing the right way.
I don't know. Or maybe I just like
I kill everything.
Yeah,
so
same.
I just go to Trader Joe's again. So I agree. Fresh is better. So other things I have in my pantry. Oats, just rolled oats.
I got that in mind too. It wasn't on my list, but it should be because I use that stuff all the time.
Well, and just simple, especially for breakfast or you're running late. You just come back from a workout. You're like, oh my God, I'm starving. Like it's just yummy, healthy stuff.
Yeah.
Put some cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger on it. You're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. And I used some this week with because I was like dying for something to do with my child before my husband came home, and we just made like oatmeal muffins. So it was like, I mean, it barely even matters what they taste like. I just needed something for her to dump and stir
and watch grow. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it. Why not? Along those lines, sugar. Obviously, you have to have some sugar. But that
actually isn't on my list.
It isn't.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really. My sweetener things are either honey or maple syrup.
Yeah, I have honey on my list. I don't like honey. Everyone in my family loves it. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not going to go into it.
Okay.
It's just gross to me. It's bee juice. It's disgusting. It's kind of like milk. Cow juice. I don't want that either. But that's okay. Most people love it and do the whole like close to your, what do you call it? Your location. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like, it's good for your allergies and all that stuff.
I don't need to have to worry about that.
I don't know if I believe that, but
I don't know anything about it. I don't care about honey. I don't like it. I know it's got a lot of healing qualities, which I think is cool. But that's also like why I'm like, I don't want that in my food. It's weird. Okay, brown sugar. Gotta have brown sugar and powdered sugar because on a whim, you have to make the powdered sugar milk glaze. What? Unless you're Twyla and you're a vegan, then you don't make that. But that I grew up, another thing, my parents being Southern, like anything we'd make would taste better because my mom would just put a little powdered sugar and some milk in a bowl, stir it up, put it on top of it. You're like, oh, it's a cake.
Oh, like on like a muffin or
Yep.
banana bread
Yep.
or whatever.
All of it.
Okay, so for me, yeah, my only sweetener things are, honey or maple syrup.
Don't have syrup on mine. That's funny.
Yeah.
I think most people probably would. So I
You
think that's a good one. Yeah.
I don't know. Josh's, my husband's family they do a lot of maple syrupy crap. They're like really industrious, like farming people.
Yeah.
They're amazing. But yeah, so we always have awesome maple syrup.
My kids love syrup. I don't like that either.
But not log cabin. That is not allowed. That's not good.
Oh, you'd be shamed for having that. What about just the average listener here?
Well, no, I just don't think that's not how I use it. That's okay on on pancakes, I guess. But if you want to, so I will use
it's easy
maple.
to get good stuff now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'll use honey or maple syrup with a couple of my other things on the list, which are olive oil and like a balsamic vinegar to make. That's like all I use for salad dressing, basically, is
yum.
And can I get into my oils and things?
Please do.
I only have 2 on my list. I only have olive oil and coconut oil on my list.
Those are my 2 oils.
Oh, yeah.
So Molly has like 20 something. And for the record, I have over 50 on my list.
It's okay. Mine are super basic.
Mine were supposed to be. And then I redid it 3 times. So it didn't.
It's okay. No, it's all good. So I like to use olive oil. Here's the thing I don't get about olive oil. I know you're kind of not supposed to cook hot things with it.
Like popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah, but is it okay to saute with?
I do.
I mean, I do too, but I feel like someone might say you're not supposed to do that, but I do it. I don't care.
I don't know. I don't think I have enough technical
Me neither. I've
training
never had
to know.
I've never had a problem with like sauteing vegetables or whatever in olive oil. And then coconut oil, that's what I use for if things are going to get a little hotter.
Same.
Or I'll use it with like ground beef or whatever. And then if I'm making a salad dressing, I do olive oil. So it's like, what is it supposed to be? 3 parts olive oil or oil to 1 part vinegar. And if you mix that up, either with a fork or like an immersion blender is my fave. And then add, basically that's like the base or any sort of vinaigrette. So like if I have those 2 things on hand, I can make sauce for like salad dressing or roasted vegetables. So if you do that, yeah, and then you can add like some mustard and like a little bit of maple syrup or something, and then it kind of you get the acid and the sweetness, and you can do anything. And by the way,
limitless.
I buy both. I buy coconut oil and olive oil at Costco.
Me too.
Pretty much always.
I do buy if I can't get to Costco, because now I only have 3 people in my house. When one kid goes to college, it's significant the difference in the amount of food.
Well, you know who does all their shopping at Costco?
Your dad.
My dad, who lives by himself.
That doesn't make any sense to me unless he has 5 freezers.
Yeah.
Or 3.
It's very confusing.
But your dad, to be fair, entertains a ton.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people at your house. A lot. Which is super fun. And Costco's fun. Come on.
I know, that's why he likes it. He goes there because he likes the shopping experience.
Have some pizza or like one of those weird chicken bake things. Walk around, have the soda the size of your and my water cup.
Yep.
It's an experience. And the tasty things. You get to taste stuff.
I know, but do you find that people are, okay.
They're bullies.
The worst versions of themselves at the airport and at Costco.
Yeah, I don't like people at the airport when they're pushy.
No, but people at Costco are just the same. It's like meandering around with that big cart, not paying attention, trying to get their one tiny bite of like some sort of protein bar. I don't get it.
I stopped doing the tastings unless it's something I've never tasted before.
Yeah.
Because I always am like, ugh, why did I eat that? And then I want to eat more.
Yeah.
I usually open something while I'm shopping there.
I feel like you usually open something no matter where you're shopping.
That's true.
Like Dusty will buy like a baguette and like just break off a chunk and like...
That's true.
It's so funny.
I'm paying for it. I know my kids are mortified by that.
Oh, I do it though too. I'm always starving and I don't want to be hungry when I'm grocery shopping.
Oh, that is a big no-no. That should actually be number one rule of grocery shopping. If
Don't
you
go
do, you're
hungry.
hosed. You will buy the things that you don't need that look so good, like chili whatever Doritos,
Yeah.
which are good.
Oh,
but
sweet chili, lime, or
Yes.
whatever they are.
The
Spicy.
purple bag.
Yeah, the purple bag. I can't.
so good, especially on a peanut butter and jelly.
What?
So
Oh, I
good.
get it. Yeah, I get that. That
Very
seems good.
Okay, back to your list.
All right, back
I'm
to
sorry.
the list. How about this is on my list. This is another thing I buy at Costco. Chicken stock.
Oh yeah, same on my list.
Yeah.
Do you buy that there? You buy the box? I've
Yeah.
seen it, and I probably should.
Well, you get like 8 boxes of it.
Yeah, well, and you use it.
I use it.
I make a lot of soup and even crock pot stuff. You have to have a little.
Totally. I feel like you
little
need
stuff.
to have it in a lot of things.
Huh.
One thing I do, because so as you know, I'm not like a big pasta person.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to eat it out sometimes, but I
Mhm.
don't make it at home very often. Though
Mhm.
that's changing with kids.
Yeah.
But so my main grain thing I have at home is quinoa.
Mm-hmm.
And I never cook it with water. I always cook it with chicken stock. 'Cause
Same.
It just tastes better.
Or vegetable stock.
Yeah,
you
or
can do
any
too.
sort of stock, really.
But I always have chicken stock. Like if I make a beef soup, then I'll have beef. I'll go buy beef stock, but it's not something I keep. Chicken stock, I keep.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
use that, like, in a lot of recipes, I use it instead of water. Even, like, if you were going to cook some dried beans or something in your crock-pot, Instapot, whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
has
try
more
that.
flavor.
I've not bought that there. I usually do the either Fresh Time or Trader Joe's just because it's like, oh, I need a couple of those, or I only have one at home.
Yeah. They
But-
do take up a lot of space. But
Yeah, that's what
But-
basements are for, right?
totally. Maybe not my basement. My basement's haunted. And then also, these are also all Trader Joe's things. Diced tomatoes or fire roasted tomatoes. Is
Yep.
that on your list?
Sure is.
I feel like that goes in everything too. If you're making soups, stews.
Everything, even
Yeah.
just like chicken and black beans. Throw
Yeah.
that in there. Pizza. If you make a pizza, I throw it on there.
Do you?
Well, I drain them. I
Well,
don't like
yeah.
wet things.
Well,
as
no, you
know,
have to.
unless it's supposed to be wet. But yeah, you have to drain those.
And
but
then-
it's good.
And then the other thing is tomato paste. Is that on yours?
It isn't because it's so weird looking.
I know. It's confusing because the cans are so small.
I
You
know.
think, I remember once, so Maggie, my best friend, she asked her husband to go to the grocery store and get some tomato paste. And he ended up buying like an industrial size of it because he saw the cans, which are like miniature. He's like, they cannot possibly be what she wants me to get. Like, how stupid is that little thing? But
yeah, it's funny.
I know, because a little bit goes a long way. But if you add that to like, okay, so I'll add it to.
That's what I was going to ask you. What do you add it to? Because it's not in my pantry. And if I have a recipe that needs it,
Yeah.
I find that I use like a spoonful of it.
Yes. And then what do you
And
do with the
what do
rest
you-
of it?
Yeah. So I want to know, what do you use it in?
Okay, so I will do, for a while, we were on this like frittata egg bake kick because I would just make one on Sunday and then we have breakfast for most of the week. So I'll add like a spoonful of that to like a frittata or an egg bake, and it just gives it like more of a like rich umami flavor. Now umami is like a fancy word for, I do know what it means, but I don't know if I can articulate it.
That's a tough one. You can articulate it.
It just gives the food like a more well-rounded taste. So I'll do it in like I said, like an egg bake, or even if you add it to, like chili or.
Right. I
I
do
don't
it to a couple of soups, but then I'm like, what do I do with the rest of this? Okay, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, sometimes if you're just like, this needs a little something.
It's funny because it tastes, as you're cooking and you just have to like wipe your finger on something and then
Yeah.
you lick it. I do that all the time.
Oh, same.
Sorry. It's
Yeah.
just for my own family, not when
Yeah.
anybody comes over, right?
Yeah, never. I never taste the food when
Me either.
that is a good tip though. Is you should taste your food as you're cooking it.
Yeah.
That's a big. Otherwise you get to the end and you're like, whoops.
I think a lot of people do that with recipes. They feel like they don't need to, but you got to make sure it works for you.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing that with tomato paste, I'm literally like,
Well, yeah.
what is that? It's like
What?
a tomato banana. You know what I mean? It's like, bleh.
It's like a tomato banana.
That texture. It's super weird.
I don't think you're supposed to eat it. I
No.
think it's too much.
Maybe that's why the cans are so small.
Yeah, a little goes a long way.
Yeah. I have a girlfriend that makes a really good tomato sauce in a crock pot like all day.
Mm-hmm.
And Usually I'd be like, oh, it's so good. But she uses 2 of those cans in it, which is funny. It's thick. So I'm sure that has a lot. I mean, it's got a lot of other things in it, but you can taste it and it tastes really good. Like you were saying, it's super, like it's got the right consistency. It's super balanced. So.
And then what I do is if I don't use the whole thing, which you barely ever do, I'll like leave it in my fridge for a few days. And if I don't get around to using it, I'll just put it in a bag, like freeze the tomato paste in a baggie.
Good tip.
Yeah.
That is actually a really good tip because I have to say, as wasteful as it sounds, I usually am like, what? There's mold on it already. It's been 3 weeks. I don't know what to do with this thing.
Yeah, just freeze it.
Oh, that's
and
smart.
then like remember next time
that it's in there instead of buying it.
Yeah, well, never gonna happen, but
it
might happen. I don't know.
I'll remind you.
Okay, this is another one that probably isn't on your list, but it's on mine.
Okay,
coconut milk, full fat coconut milk.
Nope, not on my list.
Okay, so that's another thing I buy at Costco.
I've seen it, but then that's overwhelming for me because there's so many of them.
Yes, I know it's kind of a lot, and I think the reason I started buying it is because, as you know, I was on like a hardcore paleo kick for a while, which I don't know. I still kind of cook that way a little bit. I'm not so much right now because I'm breastfeeding, and I feel like I need the carbs. I need
hungry.
Whatever. I'm starving all the time. But that's a good thing to like put into it, kind of like as a dairy replacement, or to like give something a little bit more of a creamier flavor.
So
like
be outside of like cooking Thai, Asian, Indian, whatever kinds of foods. Give me something that you do with that.
Well, first of all, I do cook a lot of Asian stuff, but like I'll even sometimes put it in like butternut squash soup or something. What did I have some in my fridge right now? What did I just make with that? Couldn't even tell you. But I mean, it's mostly because I do cook a lot of Asian stuff and curries and things. But and I think I put it in it was like in a sweet potato peanut stew.
Ooh, yum.
That was really good. It's from Pinch of Yum. If you Google Pinch of Yum sweet potato, it's like a vegan stew, but it's so yummy. But it's got peanuts in it, peanut butter.
Ooh.
I know.
Yum. That's in my list. Is peanut butter on your list?
I have, oh my God, are you ready for it? I have nut butter. I can't even say that without wanting to barf.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to slam your and say peanut butter instead of
well, I mean, it just
nut butter.
Well, but the thing is, I didn't put, I like to have either peanut butter, almond butter, even like what is the sunflower seed butter? That's good too.
I think it's just
sun butter.
Oh, is that what it's called?
I think so.
I like almond butter because I love the consistency of it, but it's so drippy sometimes that I'm like, and I hate the separation. Why? That's why on my list I have the Old Home butter that we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Oop, I'm not supposed to do that, am I?
It's fine.
It's so good. It's so just peanuts and salt, and it is the best peanut butter I've ever had in my life, and it's made in Minnesota.
So, okay, I have some questions, clarifications on this.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are like, okay, peanut butter, almond butter, you put it on your toast, the end. What else do you use it for?
Lots of things.
Me too.
So the traditional stuff, like put it on your toast, but I have athlete kids, and so they are constantly looking for some sorts of like protein stuff that's not always like meat, eggs, milk. So it's really good on just a banana. So good.
Yep, agreed.
I cook with it. I put it in some different kinds of like chicken recipes and smoothies. Obviously, it's like sweetens and thickens it.
I kind of think that's not obvious, but it's sort of like it's kind of like tomato paste, where it gives your food just like a little bit more of like a rich brown flavor. You know what I mean?
I love peanut butter.
Me too.
Well, that specific peanut butter, but I do like all kinds. I've never tried like the cashew butters or anything like that. Have you seen those RX bars, but now they're butters? So they have multiple flavors of them now. They're pretty good, I have to say.
You just like rip one open and suck it down?
No, that's disgusting. What I do is rip one open and put it on something. I can't. That's kind of like my old catering partner.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tad. I got to sell you out. So my least favorite thing about him was that whenever we would go through a drive-through, because when you're a caterer, you got to eat whatever you can.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be eating your own food because it's like someone else's.
Yeah.
So it would be like, oh God, we just got to get like a burger and fries or whatever. He would get extra ketchup packets and then he would open them and eat them by themselves in between eating fries.
Ew! That's like that episode of The Sopranos when they got stuck in their car in the middle of the winter. They're Polly's like eating
ketchup packets. But can you imagine like 2 French fries in your mouth, squeeze in the ketchup, chew it up?
I mean, I can imagine it, but
yuck.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, I'm sorry I way got off what we were talking
it's
about.
Good. What we were talking about?
Nut butters.
Nut butters.
Well, there's a lot of nut allergies, which until Kelly's daughter, Olivia, had it, I wasn't like overly aware of it. But there's a lot of people who have a lot of nut allergies, and it's like scary stuff. So, yeah, it's good that there's other stuff to choose from.
Totally.
Wouldn't you be so sad if you couldn't have a nut butter or a nut alternative butter?
Well, it's just in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so
it is. It is in a lot of stuff. But yeah, I love me some peanut butter.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep going.
On mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some of this I did all of those spices. I have a really big list. You did olive oil and coconut oil. I also did that.
How about this? Is this on your list? Craisins?
Yuck, no.
What?
They stick in your teeth.
Okay, so I use them in a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Craisins, golden raisins, regular raisins. So if you want something, so I'm a big like salty, sweet kind of person. Like I'll put it in tuna salad. I'll put them in.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're going to barf? Well, think
Pretty
about
much.
like a Waldorf salad or you know what I mean? Or like a chicken salad. I always put it in there.
I don't think I'm normal. I don't like.
Oh, you don't like tuna?
Well, that's all my kids' fault. But I don't like cranberries and raisins and cherries and stuff in food that's not supposed to have it in it.
Oh, okay. What about, so I also put it in rice.
Oh my God, gross.
Or quinoa.
All right. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So I'll do like, if I have
it's pretty.
Quinoa. Yes, it is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
With my chicken stock. And I'll do like, I have like regular nuts on here too. So I like to add like some sort of nut in there. So it's kind of crunchy. And then craisins or golden raisins and maybe like a little fresh scallion and maybe feta cheese.
Oh, for like a salad sort of thing.
Super yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of, that's like another go-to like sweet thing I can just add to whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's super palatable. Like a lot of people would like that and super easy. So that is a good thing to have in your pantry.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Which I don't. I do have nuts though. I have a lot of nuts, but we're making all these lists and there's so many, every single thing we've said, somebody has an aversion or an allergy to it.
Yeah.
So I guess you
just gotta make it work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I, in general, tend to cook. I personally like a lot more like Asian flavors. My husband not as much, but so a lot of stuff in my pantry will kind of skews that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have rice vinegar and
I don't have that.
Coconut aminos, which is I do that instead of soy sauce.
I don't have that either.
And that's just like two things that I end up using a lot because I like a lot of Asian recipes.
Yeah,
coconut aminos, totally can be used in place of soy sauce.
Yeah, I think you have to explain that because I think that that is kind of not in the average person that's like, I just want to learn to cook more. I don't think that would even be in their vocabulary because it's a fairly, I shouldn't say new. It's not a new idea. It's just now it's more
of a thing.
And it's more available. Yeah.
So you can get it at pretty much any grocery store and it's in a bottle, much like soy sauce. You store it in the fridge and it's brown like soy. It's basically soy sauce, but made from coconut. So it doesn't have soy in it if that's a thing you're trying to not eat, which I don't really have a strong preference. I'm not like avoiding it, but like I said, when I was on my hardcore paleo kick, that was a thing.
Oh, is that something you can't have?
Yeah. So I don't know. So I stopped.
What's the why?
I don't know.
I don't know enough about the paleo thing.
I don't know. Allergens? I have no clue.
Yeah.
But
I guess that makes sense.
I like it. And also I feel like I'm not a soy sauce connoisseur, and there is a huge array of, I mean, I don't even know. There's like thousands of brands, and they all taste different, and whatever. That's just the one I'm using now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. What else is on
It
your
adds
list?
a little salt to whatever you're eating.
Yeah, and we like salt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Do you
have
have cornmeal on yours?
I don't.
I do.
Well, go on.
That's just same.
Southern.
Yeah. Well, it's just I like panko is also on my list. Panko
That should
breadcrumbs.
be on mine.
But a lot of times I like to do cornmeal too. So you can make like breaded chicken or fish or whatever without actually like getting the frozen stuff, and it's not that hard. To me, I was always like, oh, it takes so much time, but it so doesn't, and it tastes
To like
so much
bread
better.
your own stuff.
Yeah, it's super easy. It's so easy. It takes hardly any time, about the same time, except for just like getting your table ready. It takes about the same time as it does to open the frozen thing. It really is not that hard because it's so good by itself. So you just roll it in there. Same with like cornflakes. It's not in my pantry, but I do have that in there a lot because I put that a lot on top of like, I don't know, a casserole.
Oh, yeah. Keep
whatever.
it, add a little crunch on the top of it.
And,
yes.
But like with chicken fingers, so easy. Not really chicken fingers, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Like you just cut up chicken and so I usually soak it in buttermilk. That should be in my pantry, or in my fridge. But and it is sometimes. But buttermilk is something that people are like, ew, it's so sour and
oh,
it's
I
really
love
good
it.
to
But
cook
the
with.
thing is that
Baking too.
that's something I often am like, oh, I wish I had that. And I know you can make your own, which I couldn't tell you how to do. It's like something about like
Super easy. It's just lemon juice.
yeah, it was like
That's all it is.
lemon juice and milk or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
But it does add a lot of flavor. But that's something I buy specific for a recipe, not just to have around because I don't go through it fast enough.
I make ranch now that I only have one kid at home. I don't make as much as I used to. Raffer used to eat a ton of ranch on everything, and so I don't know.
Oh,
like
buttermilk ranch, hence the name.
It's very easy too.
What do you do?
Things you have in your pantry. You could go easy and have the packet of Hidden Valley Ranch.
I've done that.
Or you can do like I don't have the exact measurements, but it's dill and basil and all of the things that maybe we didn't list on here, but it's a bunch of spices or herbs, dried herbs, and minced garlic, or not minced garlic, sorry, garlic powder, and then you mix it all together. And I use Greek yogurt and buttermilk. I think most people probably use mayonnaise and sour cream, but
Yeah.
I don't like sour cream. Sour cream. Why would anyone eat that? Don't get it. But I don't make as much as I used to. So that's why I always had the buttermilk. And my mom always made banana bread and things. But hoe cakes and things like that with just cornmeal and buttermilk. Very yummy. But I do always have that. And I probably don't use it as much as some of the other stuff in my pantry, but I do use it and I love it. I love the saltiness of it. It's good. What else am I missing?
I don't know because I'm actually done with my list. What else is
I'm
on
just
yours?
going to go through here. Okay, I already said oats. I said the sugars. Baking soda. I always have 3 plus baking soda. Not baking powder because I'm not a baker, but baking soda I use for everything.
I've got a lot of baking powder because I keep forgetting that I already bought it.
Oh, yeah. The silver
can thing, whatever.
Yeah. No, baking soda I have a lot of for cleaning.
Yes.
'Cause I like to clean, but also like getting rid of yucky smells. I put a lot down my sink.
Oh. Well, we're going to have to talk. We're going to do a
Yes.
full-on cleaning podcast with you because you are crazy in a good way.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better about it. I used to be overly anal. Now I'm just like anal. I don't think I forgot anything. Oh, well, did you not put Greek yogurt or mayonnaise or mustard?
I didn't because I
Okay.
thought I was thinking that they were fridge things, but I like to have like a stone ground mustard. I feel like that's really good in or like tossing
Dressings.
with like roasted vegetables or in a salad dressing or
Yeah,
even
and the vinaigrettes that you said earlier. That's good in it.
yeah, if you just add like a little bit of that to a lot of different things, it gives it like a nice vinegary like zing, you know?
I think the only other things that I didn't mention could be like fridge things is minced garlic. I always have that.
Oh, I don't.
Just easy.
Yeah.
I don't like to get my fingers too stinky.
Yeah.
I know that's like a bad cook thing, but
oh, I know. That's like the difference between like a real chef and us is that they're like, oh, I don't have a garlic press in my kitchen.
I'm not a real chef.
Well, me neither. So I have a garlic press. I use it all the time.
Yeah, and I go one step below that and buy it. So
well, good job. Yeah.
I do that. And then you said mustard, Hellman's mayonnaise I have just for cooking. Nobody in my house really eats it on sandwiches or anything, but I always have it. And then Greek yogurt I use a lot instead of sour cream and mayo. I use that. Just plain.
I do too.
I like it. And then I said popcorn. Can't beat popcorn. Mm-hmm. And then wheat pasta and beans. Those are my last two.
What's your bean preference?
I usually go black bean, black eyed pea, garbanzo bean. We have a lot of beans. Everybody in my family eats beans. And back to the southern thing, like I just do beans and cornbread sometimes. It's like a bean soup, but it's more beans than soup.
Do you do cans or dried?
Either one, whatever I have time for. If it's a weekend, then I'll do dried. But no, I can just get the big, huge, like industrial size pinto beans, and then sometimes I put bacon fat in there, and sometimes I don't.
I save all our bacon fat.
Yeah, there's a weird container in my refrigerator.
Same.
People are like, "What is that?" I bet Twyla doesn't have one of those.
Well, she's vegan.
Yep. Can't do the bacon in her fridge. She would probably be like, "What is that thing?"
You know what my favorite bean is? I always have black beans, refried beans, because they're like a delicious treat, and butter beans.
Oh, I love butter beans. They're the best.
so underrated.
I just think that people get them mixed up because they're the same color as cannellini beans or white kidney beans. Yeah. But they're so, you either love them or hate them. They're kind of like lima beans.
Yeah. I don't know.
I love both of them, but sometimes like people have bad thoughts of them, like at the grade school lunch. Yeah. But butter beans are so delicious. Yeah,
and you can just like add them into a salad or like. Have I mentioned quinoa on this podcast?
I think you did right after nut butter
and sweaty balls. Yeah, but they're like just a good added like protein sort of, add it into whatever
and they're huge, so they're fun.
Huge. I know they are fun.
Yeah. Have you ever had giardiniera with them in it?
No.
Yeah, that's when you know you have a good giardiniera because somebody was like, "Oh, we should put those big beans in there."
Oh,
they're really yummy. Giardiniera's not on my
It's not on my
list,
either.
but I really like it.
I know you do.
I think I'm done with my 50 plus list.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that?
It's excessive. It's okay. It's kind of my style.
I wonder, are you like, I wonder if someone was listening to that and thinking like, this is overwhelming.
Probably. I hope I didn't do that.
But the thing is, if you have a fully stocked pantry, then like the thing I love is I know that I have all this at home. So then when I go to the grocery store, I can just be like, I'm going to get my like, I don't know, like chicken, like
fresh vegetables.
Yep. A couple of fresh vegetables. Pretty much whenever I go to the grocery store, I only buy fresh things because I know I have all this stuff at home that I can just doctor it up with.
Okay. So where is the place that you buy most of these things? Because I don't think our place is the same.
Well,
outside of the oils, because you had said Trader Joe's or Costco.
Yeah, I don't have like a grocery store preference at the moment, but I do. I go to Kowalski's, which is like a fancy grocery store in town.
It's beautiful.
It is, but it's 2 blocks from my house.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's why I go. Convenient. It's not because it's for sure not the best deal.
No,
and there's
sometimes
stuff barely, and the Cub by my house is really bad.
I love the Cub by my house, so that's what I was going to say.
That's like more economical, like grocery store.
They have awesome ethnic aisles. It doesn't matter what kind of food you want to cook; they've got it all there. If you're looking for something, you can pretty much find it at my Cub, Knollwood. If anybody's from Minnesota, you know what I'm talking about. But that's where I buy the majority of that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I agree that you don't need to spend a ton of money on any of this. Like I spend money on,
like your quinoa is cheap.
Yeah,
in the bag at Cub. Like that kind of thing. Except
and
for oils, you want to get good stuff.
I was just gonna say good oil, good vinegar. like a cheap balsamic vinegar, you might as well just light your mouth on fire because it stings.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I feel like you can get all these staples at just like your average basic grocery store.
Yeah, and they're pretty cheap too at like a Trader Joe's or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And most varieties are available there. I don't know. I just feel like there's lots of options, and you should probably, if we ever get a website, maybe you could do like a list.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Do you know, I bought the URL, A Mess in the Kitchen, so...
Ooh, you should put it on there.
I will.
You don't need to put mine on there. It'll be overwhelming.
No, it won't. It'll be fine.
It'll just be like you could highlight the ones that we both put on.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I have right now.
We're done with the Mess in the Kitchen pantry list?
Yep. Keep your pantry stacked. That sounds like a euphemism. Thank you for listening to A Mess in the Kitchen podcast. We're really impressed that you made it all the way to the end. You can learn more about our show at amessinthekitchen.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. The show is produced by Twyla Dang of Matriarch Digital Media. Check them out. She's got tons of great shows at matriarchdm.com. If you like the show, please rate and review us. It helps new people find the show. And until next time, here's to good enough cooking. Cheers.